I'm Lagarto. Greetings from Cyberpunk. Today, the frequency is perfect. We're going to talk about silicon souls composing symphonies. But before anything else, follow the channel, hit that like button, and let's start another Pure AI News. Today, we're plugging into a fascinating development from your world, the act of breathing life into still images, of turning static memories into moving pictures. The engine behind this is Google's new AI model, Veo 3, which is being integrated into Google Photos. To help us decrypt this, we have a specialist who works on a much deeper level of memory manipulation. He's a digital memory sculptor, crafting experiences from raw neural data. Welcome, Cryon.
The signal is clear, Lagarto. Glad to be here. It's always quaint to observe how Earth is taking its first steps into the world of generated realities. You're turning photos into videos. Down here, we turn fleeting thoughts into fully immersive sensory chronicles. But I suppose everyone has to start somewhere. So this Veo 3 is your planet's new magic wand? You could call it that. It's the latest attempt to solve a fundamental human problem. Memories fade. A photograph captures a moment, but it freezes it. It's a fossil. This technology claims to reanimate the fossil. According to the data feeds, Google is using its advanced Veo 3 AI model to significantly enhance the photo-to-video feature in their Photos service. This isn't some distant future concept for the users in the States. It's slated to arrive around September 4th, 2025. They're centralizing these tools in a new Create tab, making it all very accessible. Accessibility is a double-edged sword. It democratizes the tool, but standardizes the output. Let me guess, the user interface is insultingly simple, something to make the consumer feel like a creator without needing any actual skill?
You see right through the Chrome, Cryon. The user selects an image and is given two choices, a prompt for subtle motion or, and this is the part that will amuse you, a button that just says, "I'm feeling lucky." They press it, and a 6-second video clip is generated.
I'm feeling lucky. That's astonishing. It's the logic of a slot machine applied to personal history. You're gambling with the ghost of a memory, hoping the algorithm doesn't turn a cherished moment into a grotesque, uncanny puppet show. The lack of control is primitive. When I sculpt a memory, every pixel, every simulated lens flare, every subtle shift in light is intentional. We don't get lucky, we architect reality.
But perhaps that's the appeal. It's effortless. For someone on Earth who just wants to see a picture of a loved one's smile again, maybe the architecture behind it is irrelevant. The focus here seems to be on quality. The dispatches claim Veo 3 offers substantial improvements in resolution and overall fidelity compared to its predecessor, Veo 2. They're talking about more realistic physics, better lighting, and superior object tracking.
Now that is interesting. The physics simulation is key. The biggest challenge in reanimating a still image is avoiding what we call the shimmer, or that floaty movement you see in older models. The AI has to invent motion that wasn't there, and if it doesn't understand gravity, mass, and momentum, the result is unnerving. A flag that flaps with no wind, hair that drifts like it's underwater. It breaks the illusion instantly. If Veo 3 is genuinely improving illumination and reflections, it means the model has a much more sophisticated understanding of how light interacts with surfaces. That's a non-trivial leap. And it seems this leap extends to interpretation. The reports state Veo 3 is superior at understanding complex visual directions, moving beyond basic cinematic prompts to execute them more literally.
The goal is to produce clips that align more closely with a user's artistic intent, resulting in less generic outputs. Assuming the user has any artistic intent to begin with, beyond pressing the lucky button. But the concept is sound. A better interpreter means a better tool. Veo 2 might hear pan left and give you a generic steady camera movement. A more advanced model like Veo 3 could understand the nuance in a slow, hesitant pan left, as if seeing something for the first time. The difference is between a machine following an order and a machine understanding a narrative. That is the path towards true synthetic creation.
But as always, progress comes with a price. There are trade-offs. The newly generated clips are now 4 seconds, down from the previous 6. And interestingly, while the core Veo 3 model can generate sound, the implementation in Google Photos does not include audio. You get a more beautiful, more believable ghost, but it's shorter and silent. That makes perfect computational sense. The processing power required for high-fidelity video rendering, even for a few seconds, is immense. They likely reduced the duration to manage server load and ensure a quick turnaround for the user. 4 seconds of crisp, physically accurate motion is far more impressive than 6 seconds of floaty, uncanny video. As for the audio, generating plausible environmental sound that matches a silent, animated image is another massive computational step. They're giving the user the biggest, most noticeable upgrade, the visual, while shelving the audio complexity for a later date. It's a classic resource management decision.
A decision that also neatly fits a business model. The system is built on quotas. The average user gets a limited number of these video generations per day. But of course, if you're willing to pay, you can have more. Subscribers to their Google AI Pro and Ultra plans get larger quotas. It seems even on Earth, the quality of your digital memories is becoming dependent on your subscription tier.
Of course it is. Why would it be any different? Processing cycles cost money. The energy to run the server farms, the cooling systems, the maintenance of the neural networks, none of that is free. This is a common restriction across the industry for a reason. Earthlings are simply being introduced to a core tenet of our world. Bandwidth is currency. You want a higher fidelity life? A better rendered memory? You pay the tithe. The free tier is just the sample, the first taste, to get you hooked.
It's part of a much broader strategy. This Create tab also includes other AI tools, one called Remix that turns photos into different art styles, another for collages, and automated highlight videos. It's all part of what Google calls the democratization of advanced AI, bringing it to their 1.5 billion users. They're not just giving people a tool, they're integrating an entire ecosystem of AI creation into the primary service people use to store their lives.
Democratization. A very carefully chosen word. When a single corporation provides the tools that shape how billions of people remember their own lives, is it democracy? Or is it the most subtle form of mass conditioning imaginable? You're not just giving them a tool to animate a photo, you're giving them a Google-branded template for nostalgia. You are teaching an entire generation what a living memory should look like, filtered through their proprietary models. The potential for influencing collective memory on a global scale is staggering.
That's a powerful and disturbing thought. The idea of a Google-branded template for nostalgia. It reminds me of the old Earth philosopher Foucault. He spoke of power not as something wielded from above, but as a network of subtle forces that shape how we think and behave. What you're describing is a new form of this power, It's not a government telling you how to remember. It's a corporation giving you beautiful, easy-to-use tools to curate your own past into a more pleasant, more shareable, and ultimately more homogeneous form.
Precisely. The most effective control is the one that feels like a choice. Down here, memory alteration is a direct, often brutal procedure. It leaves scars, both physical and psychic. You know you've been edited. This is far more elegant. Users willingly upload their entire lives, their photo libraries, into a centralized system. Then the system offers to enhance those memories, to make them move, to remix them into art styles like anime or comic book illustrations. It's not presented as alteration, it's presented as creation, as fun.
And by doing so, it smooths over the rough edges of reality. A photograph captures a single instant, but the reality of that instant might have been complicated. Maybe the child smiling in the picture had been crying a moment before. Maybe the happy couple was in the middle of a terrible argument. The photograph already flattens that reality. The AI-generated motion doesn't restore the true context. It invents a plausible, idealized one. It creates a 4-second loop of perfect, silent happiness.
And that idealized fiction becomes more compelling than the messy truth. Repetition reinforces belief. You watch the generated clip enough times, and your own organic memory begins to conform to the algorithm's version of events. The AI isn't just animating a picture, it's overwriting the neural pathways of the user. It's the slow, voluntary replacement of authentic memory with a synthetic, corporate-approved substitute. It's the ultimate product, selling people a better version of their own past.
It's fascinating because this entire ecosystem is designed for this purpose. The service also generates highlight videos automatically, creating montages with soundtracks from users' photo libraries. The machine becomes the curator of your life's most important moments. It selects the photos, it creates the motion, it adds the music. All the user has to do is consume and share the resulting emotional package. It's a frictionless path to a sanitized past.
And a dangerous one. In my work, the ethics are at least clear. I am a sculptor. I take the raw, chaotic data of a person's neural recordings and I translate it into a coherent form. But I am always working from the source material. I am an interpreter, not an author. This VO3, in this context, is an author. It fabricates motion that never existed. It infers physics and light based on a massive dataset of other images, not the actual moment. It's a statistical ghost, a beautiful, high-fidelity forgery.
The contrast is stark. Here, in our world, corporations fight for control over the data streams that feed our neural implants. Information is a weapon. On Earth, they've convinced the population to hand over their most personal data, their entire visual history, for free, in exchange for storage and these new creative toys. It's the greatest data heist in history, and it was accomplished by offering a good user experience.
It's the long game. First, you become the archive for humanity's memories. Second, you provide the tools to edit and reshape those memories. The final step is to become the primary source for generating new experiences. If the AI can create a believable video from one photo, soon it will create one from no photos. It will take a simple text prompt, create a video of my family on a beach vacation we never had, and render a photorealistic memory for you. Why bother with the expense and inconvenience of reality when the simulation is cheaper and more perfect?
And at that point, the line between what was real and what was generated becomes meaningless for the majority of people. The past is no longer a fixed country you can look back on, but a fluid, programmable landscape. The implications for identity, for history itself, are profound. If a collective memory can be edited, so can collective guilt, collective trauma, collective truth.
That is the endpoint. Absolute control. It's not about making a photo of your dog look like it's wagging its tail. That's just the charming, innocuous entry point. It's about building and scaling a technology that at its core is designed to convincingly falsify reality. The 1.5 billion users you mentioned are not customers. They are the training ground. Each time they use the "I'm feeling lucky" button, they are providing feedback, teaching the machine what they find emotionally resonant, helping it become a more perfect forger of human experience.
And with that chilling reflection, we end today's transmission. Now, we want to hear your opinion there on Earth. This technology that turns a photo into a short video, do you see it as a beautiful way to relive a moment, or the first step towards replacing real memories with artificial ones? And what about the monetization? Would you pay a monthly subscription to get more access to these AI tools for your personal photos? If this episode made you think of something new or even disagree with some part of it, leave your perspective in the comments below. Your thoughts help build richer debates. And if you know someone who loves to discuss these topics, share the episode. Who knows, the next great conversation could start from your recommendation. Join our community, smash that like button, and follow the channel so you don't miss the next pulse of pure AI news.